Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Hops and Thunder. We're playing Super Auto Pets today. And for those of you who don't know Super Auto Pets, it is a fun auto battler similar to the League of Legends style Team Fortress, Teamfight Tactics, or the Hearthstone Battlegrounds. But it's a little bit chiller because there's not a time limit, so you can kind of make decisions as you go. And it's, you know, a little bit more indie, so you're supporting a nice little developer. So I wanted to play it a little bit for you guys today, and then maybe do a little series on it if people like it. We're going to start with the standard pack, which anyone can get for free on mobile or Steam. And then the expansion packs are available for a small fee if you decide you like the game and you want to try the additional pet expansions. These ones do not impact your ability to play the game at all. And I'm going to show you playing the standard pack that it is perfectly a full game in its entirety, but the expansions just add like additional animals that you can play and change up the different, you know, combinations that you can do. And then of course there is the weekly pack, which basically is a randomized pack of animals, some new, some old, that you can try out as well, and that's also free. And it changes on every Monday, so you can try out different things and adds a lot of variety as you go. So definitely recommended. But for now, we're going to jump in on the free-to-play, as I mentioned, and just start a new arena, and I will explain briefly how the game works. So the purpose of the game is to create a team of animals to fight the other teams of animals. You do so by buying animals from the shop, which is the row down the bottom. You can buy whatever animal you want. They all have different stats, attack, health, and abilities, like this. And they also have items that you can buy in the shop to supplement their abilities. The abilities also often work together in tandem, so that way you can create different synergies and different strategies as you go. You can also collect multiple of them to level them up, which makes them stronger and it improves their abilities. The purpose of the game is to, as I said, to fight against other people. The way this works is you have 10 overall health, and every time you lose a match, you lose some of that health. If you win a match, you get a trophy. If you get 10 trophies, you win the whole thing. And if you run out of health, then you get bumped. You have 10 gold. You can spend a turn to improve your team. Once you run out of the 10 gold, that's all you can do. If you don't like what's in the shop, you can spend 1 gold to re-roll it. And you're going to see all these mechanics at play as we go. I don't want to spend too much more time than that explaining it, but as we go, you'll see how the game works and how it functions. And I've put the battling on a slower mode so people can see exactly how the things interact. But if it's a little too fast still, let me know and I will slow it down further. Right now it's still on fast forward, but it's the slowest level of fast forward, which I think is a nice balance between being annoying and being reasonable. So in either case, I'm not super fond of this shop. I like the Mosquito. I think that's a pretty good early game unit in the early pack. The Pig's okay. It's essentially a 1 gold unit once you buy and sell it at some point in the game. That's 4/1, so it really doesn't take much damage, but it can dish out a bunch. If you put it at the front of your team, you could take out a unit 1/1 usually early. I don't love it though. Definitely are better units to pick from. And these are 2 of them. The Ant's always a good one, and the Beaver you can toss out front with a 3/2. It's kind of like a pig, but actually has a chance to survive an attack depending on what it's up against. And I think we'll roll with that. I kind of like the ability of keeping the Mosquito in the back, so that way it guarantees the buff from the Ant. The back unit will be the strongest unit guaranteed, and this guy might just take out somebody 1/1. I think that gives us a good shot to win our first match. And why don't we be a big scholar? He's like 6'5", having trouble sitting in his desk. All right, we win this, I think, due to our nice Ant buff. And we take home a trophy. Pretty easy. But I'm not trying to make it look easy. It's going to get harder as it goes. We're going to take another Beaver, the purpose of which is to get us a little bit closer to a potential level up if we get a 3rd Beaver. And then the other 2 animals don't interest me that much right now, especially given our team comp, so we're going to roll again. Now this is intriguing. So I think at this point we just add a Beaver. And then I think we just add another Beaver to a Beaver to make it a stronger Beaver. That's the other thing. If you combine animals, they will become stronger by like increasing the stat points of the largest value by 1. So if you combine 2 animals that are 3/2, it'll become a 4/3. If you combine an animal that's a 4/3 and a 2/1, then it'll just become a 5/4. But if this was like a 5/1, then that would become a 6/4. So it depending on how the animal's stats are distributed depends on how you should combine them. But you can combine animals that are of the same species. Now, I use that as an example, but you can't combine two species together. That being said, we are out of gold, so let's end the turn and see how this team fares in round 2. That was a very tough team. Their shops were a little bit better than ours in terms of some of the animals they got were ones that I would have liked to have, but we're going to be set up okay because we can now combine a third beaver into this beaver to level up our beaver, which I'm very okay with. I think you got to take an ox in a situation like this. An ox is a level 3 unit, and one of the benefits of leveling up your animal is that you get access to stronger units. You start off the game at tier level 1 in the shop, which means that every item has this little dice that has a 1 next to it. That's the highest level animal you can get. When you get to the next odd level turn, it levels up your shop to the next level, all the way up to 6. When you get to higher levels, you can get earlier level animals, but it also mixes in levels that are up to the highest level. But when you level up an animal, you actually get a tier above the shop you're on. So right now we're on tier level 2. We just got a tier 3 unit because we decided to level up when we did. So it's important to time your level ups to take advantage of that. That being said, I think this is how we handle this situation right now. Because we have some good units here. And I would like to take advantage of some of the synergies by doing something kind of like this. And then I'll spend the remaining gold just rolling for potential opportunities in the future. And I think we save another beaver to get us a little bit closer to level 3 on him. But I don't think we worry about the flamingo, and you'll probably see why shortly, because I'm not planning to keep that around too much longer. It's more of a temporary stay. That was another tough team. I'm actually really surprised that we lost there. Going into that fight, I would have guessed that most of the teams we would be facing would be weaker than us, but I underestimated them. That being said, I think we could start by adding Beaver to the squad. I think the pill is the next thing I'm going to use, which is why I said the flamingo was not sticking around very long. The flamingo has an ability that before it faints, it gives the two friends behind it +1/+1. We want to do it like this. But if I pill this, pill makes a friendly pet faint, it'll give these a permanent buff instead of just being at the throughout the turn. Because anything that happens in the shops stays in the shop. Anything that happens on the field is a temporary buff. So if we kill it now, it'll be gone, but it'll actually buff the units we want to keep. And in addition to this, as you'll see, this unit has an ability that when the friend ahead faints, it gains melon armor, which causes it to take 20 less damage once, and +1 attack. That's a permanent buff now. This is always going to have melon armor and +1 attack. So that was a pretty nice little buff that we just got out of that. And I think we have to be pretty happy with it. I'm not really happy with what else is in the shop, though. I think you got to think about an elephant just because we need the stats. And I think you got to think about, you know what? I think you just roll a mosquito, honestly. I think that's better than an elephant at this stage because we're going to be closer to leveling, and I'd rather have the 2 damage on random enemies. This might be another rough turn just because we're already a little bit behind the 8 ball, but I don't hate it. We have a tough team. And we traded well there, so that might bode well for us. Still not enough, though, just barely. That's a painful loss. Okay, though, we're still 2 off lethal. That's just a painful one to witness. So I'm making room here because I think we need to make some moves. I'm just not sure exactly what move I'm going to make. Let's get rid of you, you stink. Add you.
Giraffe.
Add you. Give you some garlic. If we lose again, we'll use a snail, which only has an effect when you lose, but unfortunately we didn't draw into it fast enough. I feel like we're getting bad beat a little bit on this one. I don't think our team is bad enough to have only gotten one win after six rounds here. But such is life, unfortunately. So we'll play that to have it out there. Consider a salad. Consider that. Honestly, I think, you know, God is my witness. You just gotta give the other team a full buff. I think that's the best you can do in that situation. You just hope that, you know, the other teams are a little bit over-tooled and that you can come in here and wipe the next team out. Which I don't think is necessarily wrong, but coming up against the Hippo is like the worst possible thing to have this situation happen to us. But honestly, we basically four-squatted that and did perfectly fine, which makes me think that, you know, maybe we were just going up against like the best teams to ever do it. Like, I didn't think our team was like fantastic, don't get me wrong, but I didn't think it was like the level of mediocrity that our performance like suggested it was. I mean, I think for sure we talk about that. I don't think we need to get a giraffe to level 2 though, but I think that's okay. I mean, we don't have like a long-term vision for this team, and that's problematic. We're just trying to like live like one turn to the next. This team does not seem good enough at all to even be in this round. And it's like almost insulting after losing, getting blown out by teams that were like multiple rounds better than us in scaling, to have that team be the one we're facing right now. You can make an argument for a shark here for sure. The only issue is we really can't afford a power dip, and we have a level 2 giraffe now, so we'd like to use that. We'd like to use the ox, wouldn't like to use the sheep. The only thing we can get rid of is the beaver, and I'm not sure we want to get rid of the beaver. We could also throw a bison out there, but at turn 8, it's like a little bit on the late side, but not like completely too late. But at the same time, we don't have time for a power dip. Right? But we also need a long-term future for this team, and that's the problem that I'm struggling with. This is what I think you do. I think you forego the shark. I think that's just not going to work, unfortunately. But I think you consider the bison. No, honestly, I think you get rid of the sheep. And I think you do something like this. And I think you throw that on your seal to give everybody a little buff. And then I think you roll for a better unit. And maybe save some melon armor for next round if we happen to survive. Like, we need another garbage team like we just came up against, but it's not impossible. This is an odd team structure, I won't lie to you. Makes me feel like we might actually get away with another win. What was that team? We're coming up against some really struggle bus teams right now. But since we were way behind the 8-ball anyway, like, we were coming up against teams that were way overtooled for like round 6. Didn't make any sense. So I'm actually feeling better about this now. That said, we're not out of the woods yet. When in doubt, you feed your seal. That's just how it goes. I think you could also throw a garlic on him just to make him feel better. And I think you can move him right up here, something like that. I don't want him to take the buff though. I'd rather these guys get it. It's fine. He's fine where he is. You could talk about giving some distributed sushi. Would have been even nicer if the seal got it. I think maybe you talk about that next turn. Maybe it's the giraffes. The end of the giraffes time in the sun coming up soon. His scaling's kind of slow. It is scaling, but it's slow scaling. And at a certain point, you have to pivot away from the giraffe. Okay, all right, we did okay on that one too, so we're up to 5 wins. I'll take it. We've dug ourselves out of the hole a little bit. Much more than I would have thought. You know, maybe. Call me crazy. I think you sell you. You know, I didn't think this through. I want to buy a monkey and use a chocolate on the monkey. But that's not going to happen. I'm now realizing. So instead, we're going to use the chocolate on a seal. Because what I want to do as well is buy a cow and then pump the seal. And then I would like to dump the cow and add a monkey. And then you level up your seal. And now you're cooking with gas. You throw him in slot number 2 or whatever. You throw him here. You got a nice balanced team right across the board. You save this for later. I think you go in here and you're feeling pretty good about this. For turn 10. We got a little bit of a scaling engine now. Don't look now, but I think we win these. Okay, 6 wins. I consider that a win. I consider that to be a measure of success in and of itself. Getting to 6 wins is a pretty good place to be. I don't know if we even need to level the ox at this point, but I feel like we gotta consider it. I feel like it's too late for the salad, but I think you can definitely add some pizza in there. And then, you know what? We got the ox. We might as well just add them. Bison's starting to cook with gas, too. So he could use some melon armor or garlic, I think. That worked out okay. You know, our ox is still cooking. We haven't even had to use our bison yet. He's been, like, in reserve waiting. I think it's almost time for him to take a step up to the front, but we'll see when we get there. I think you always take sushi with a seal on the board to see if you get the seal where you're going. I think you always take sushi with a seal. Are we ready to move this boy into slot 2? I feel like it. Perhaps maybe we throw another one of you in there. Just keep pumping. I mean, you have to like it. It's not there's not a lot of finesse involved, but it's a lot of stats. You don't love that as much. That's a rough one. We just came up against like the best bison to ever do it, and we didn't have the melon armor. All right. That was actually pretty nice. I think we ran it back pretty well there, but I think we can do one more and see if we get even better squad, which, you know, we did okay that time, but we had to dig ourselves out of a hole. I feel like if we hit that stride earlier, we would have been in good shape. On this one, I think you have a nice easy layup here. You take a 2-3, you add a stat to it. You freeze a cricket as a just in case me. You don't need to do it because you get the duck you wanted, and you just keep moving. Let's be a famous eggplant like Ron Jeremy. That was the best possible unit to have taken that sniper hit. And we win these. 1 win. The trick is you got to keep it rolling. Why don't you take another one? Perfect. Just like I drew it up. Why don't you... Oh, see, I don't want to combine on this turn. Maybe we hold you off on it. Maybe we do something like this. I think that should still be enough to potentially get us a win here. But I don't want to take the level yet. That's a lot of ants. We may lose this one. Depending on how the ant luck falls. That was good ant luck. We at least draw, though. We did okay. Okie dokie. Combine. 10 out of 10 times you take a turn 3 dog. I'm going to show you why. You do that. You add a dog to the team, and you win. I mean, not like right away. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of winning to be had when you get a dog on the team. So let me for now, let's see what we want to do. Do we want to sell you? I think we want to sell you. Let's do this. Aspire. Sell you. Aspire. Move you to the front. Move you to the front. Move you to the very front. Actually, no, you're still the best. Let's do that. Boom, 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 boom. Good for now. We'll freeze a pill. So the dog gets either a health or an attack every time you summon a unit at level 1. It gets better as you get him to higher levels. But in short, you can scale him real fast if you get him early. Like if you look at that guy, he got him a little earlier than I did. He still ended up with a 6-5 dog. Mine goes 6-5 after an ant buff, but it's still okay. Because we're going to keep pumping them. There's a lot of buy sells early on where you can be like, okay, let's take a look at you. Let's pill you. Now you're a 6-5 guaranteed. You take one of these, throw them in there. Buy them, you sell them. You roll it. You throw another mosquito on there. We're building towards our level. No big deal. Not feeling this. Maybe you hold this for a second, see what you get. Maybe you just toss a little otter up there. You'll get a few more stats. Throw them in the back. Set up like this. Get a couple snipers in there. We're in good shape. Keep it rolling. I mean, you gotta love a unit that 2-for-1's right off the bat like that, and you know, wait another turn or two, and if other teams don't get the scaling you do, you could potentially be upping them much more. And oh my goodness, this game has given us everything that we could ever want. So you take a little pill. Somehow I just knew the game was going to give me a third fish. I had a feeling. Now we're going to be able to buff the team with it. It's going to be great. It was a risk because I combined the mosquitoes, but I just had a feeling that it was going to give us what we wanted. Perfect mosquito. I feel like our duck is big enough that it's just going to power through everything. So we're okay with that. Yep, I'm very alright with the way that things are going, and now why don't we just do a little bit of that, you know, get a little bit of that going. You know, maybe we do a little buy and then a little sell. Then a little buy and then a little sell. And then we do a little, why don't we buy you? Giraffe. That's good for now. We'll get a 12-12 and an 8-10 on turn 6. That seems like that would be a pretty solid team, especially since he has melon armor. That was the worst possible unit to have gotten that with, but at least we cream everybody else. And we get through all of them with just our dog. This is the power of the early dog. Very difficult very difficult to find a more cost-efficient way to spend your money early. We don't have anything to use this for. We could potentially add a dolphin and feel too bad about it. I think we could maybe give you that. We don't want to stop the buy sells. We're just potentially replacing a mosquito with a dolphin since it's a better unit. This team is also going for the two strong unit strategy. They might be executing it better than me. That's all right. One loss is okay. We take it, we leave it. All right, let's get rid of you. We don't need that. Let's throw you in. Think you'll love to see it. Think you'll love to. We'll start the double snipers. No big deal. I think the giraffe is next to go. I actually like the double snipers in a build like this since we have an insano dog at the front to wipe out everybody else. If those snipers could take out the horse and the kangaroo, oh my god. You just can't draw it up any better. Alright, so the giraffe is probably our next unit to go here. We're definitely gonna level up our duck. We could talk about a cat. This doesn't do too much for us. I think we just keep rolling. You know, I could roll this for a turn, and I would be okay with it. I don't know if the skunk's gonna stick around long term, but I'm okay with it for a turn. Take out the snake, take out the giraffe. I think we still win this, but it's a much closer battle here. Yeah, win this by 1. 7 wins. Now it gets a little dicier. We gotta be a little more careful with how we spend our money. I think it's just too early for that. I think we gotta do something like this. I think we gotta dump the crocodile. I think we gotta add a cat. I think we gotta do a little something like this. I think we gotta do a little something like this. We gotta do a little something like that. I think we gotta do something like that. He needed a power boost. We're gonna give him the power boost. I think we gotta start using food now. In combination with getting our dog up there, we need to start adding some more units that can actually attack and fight. Because we are getting into more dire straits where we only win by 1. 8 wins. But I still don't think we're in like a bad place. That's the thing. Like if you sell one of those and you do a little bit of that, is anybody sad about getting that buff? I don't think so. But let's make you another level up. Tiger doesn't do a ton for us, but we could make the dolphin attack another unit, which is okay. Worst case scenario. You know, not really feeling this crew here. You know, as a 1-turn rental, maybe the dolphin can snipe 2 people. I think that's the same team that we just played, but just slightly better. All right, let's think about this a little bit. Let's not make any hasty moves. We have to be smart. Running out of time. I don't think a dragon is going to give us the gas to go, but I think that might be the only option that we have at this point is to try it. It at least is going to give us like a little bit of heat. You could throw one of those in there. Like, the whole team's just got to be, like, a little bit better. That's the problem. But I'd rather one more overall buff or a unit that can do something. Where would I put this? Right here for a guaranteed two attacks. I think that's where we put him. The next turn we keep pumping if we're still alive. I think the dragon has to be our pivot. I think this team is beatable. Straight up. Not the best team. We might have to consider that this is better, but I just... At this stage, I can't get rid of it. Oh, you love to see it. You gotta talk about you, don't you? That's the play. Oh, baby. If we don't win this one, we might, but we're close. We might just toss a mushroom on that bad boy. Oh, I don't like it. Make you a little bit more formidable. Need a better unit, though. You're okay. This might be like sicko mode, but it might actually work, actually. This is nuts. I'll save you. If we die next time, though, we're going for broke. But we have one more after this if we lose. That's a strong team. It is very top heavy, though. Oh, baby. Give me the 10 win. There we go. That's how we do it. And that right there is how you 10 win Super Auto Pets on pack 1. And as you can see, there's a lot of variation, a lot of different animals, a lot of different interesting things that you can do as you play through it. No guarantees. You know, no standard metas that have to work every single time. You can be a little creative with it even in the free pack. So please give it a shot if you like it. That's going to do it for this video, though. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching Super Auto Pets. If you did, press the like button. It means a great deal. And subscribe below if you want to see more stuff like this. We'll be uploading a little bit more frequently as we go now. So looking forward to providing more good content, more good Super Auto Pets content, and probably doing some more Twitch streams in the future as well. So keep an eye out. Looking forward to playing with you some more. See you later.